Hello. It's really nice to be here. It's our first time in the States. I don't know if you heard, but we sing in French. So the next song is, you know, it's all French now. The next song is titled Aujourd'hui je dis bonjour à la vie, which means sacre. Sacre. Okay. Didn't expect that, really.
October 3rd, 1978. The Starwood Club, Los Angeles.
C'est toujours pour l'amour qu'on devient fou. Ça doit être plein d'amour parce que c'est plein de fous tout partout. Comme si on avait tous peur de se dire.
Harmonium is a six-man, one-woman group from Quebec. This is their first appearance in the United States.
Comme un sage, monte dans les nuages, monte un étage, viens voir le paysage. Comme un sage, monte dans les
6 years ago, Serge Fiordi and two other musicians cut an album entitled Harmonium. It sold 125,000 copies. They expanded the group to 5, then 7 members. Their popularity is spreading across Canada, their records outselling many American superstars. But in the States, they're unknown. The largest music market, the largest money market in the world, has so far remained closed to Harmonium. With this trip, they hope to break through that barrier and do something no Quebecois group has ever done: become international stars.
Paul, why was it decided to send Harmonium to California?
First, because I think the California people could relate more to Harmonium than the people from Alabama. We're maybe the most important band in Canada, and we're French. We're not selling politics, but we are from here, and we like the people to know it. You know, for me, the political situation in Quebec is cultural. It started there, so it goes together, you know.
You feel it's possible for a group to sing in French and succeed?
We'll see, but I have already seen that in Toronto and in Vancouver and in Kingston, that the people, for sure, sometimes are disappointed because they don't really understand all the lyrics, but they get the feeling, they get the vibe. And I always say to the people, you know, I've been listening to Harmonium for 5 years, and I don't know the lyrics by heart. I don't listen to the lyrics. I receive the vibe, and I go with it.
Harmonium is not coming to San Francisco alone. The government of Quebec is looking for friends outside of Canada. And in a situation where politics is culture and culture is politics, what better introduction to Quebec than through its artists? Besides, the people of San Francisco, and more important, the American press, would hardly come flocking just to hear speeches on the political situation in some obscure Canadian province. So to attract their attention, a group of Quebec actors and artists, filmmakers and musicians have been flown down here to showcase Quebec culture.
Some music from Harmonium, and they'll be at Zellerbach Auditorium this Friday night at 8:30 as part of the Quebec Cultural Festival. About how long you usually play?
It's 2 hours and 15 minutes.
2 hours. Yeah. Do you plan it all out before you get on?
Yeah, sure. we need to know.
7 people all shouting out.
A few hours after their arrival in California, the group is in the studios of KALX Radio.
I was wondering, are there any other groups in Quebec that are doing anything similar to what you are, or are you kind of in the forefront?
Well, that's the thing with Quebec. Is maybe it evolved like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. There's a big cultural thing that happened, and every group that emerged from that are very different from one to the other. And I think that people from Montreal are hoping for that. I mean, you can't, a group that would there's a couple of groups that try to maybe sound like us or something, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, we're going to hear one more track.
Vent fait de son mieux.
Harmonium begins its personal promotion on the airwaves of the Berkeley radio station, and San Francisco gets its first taste of the Quebec group's music.
Viens quand il peut.
Meanwhile, on the campus down below, another kind of promotion job is underway. Premier René Lévesque talks to the press.
Dans l'ensemble, la situation est très bonne et stable. Je veux dire, la situation d'ensemble partout est assez incertaine, mais chez nous, c'est loin d'être moins bon qu'ailleurs.
Est-ce que plus vous éloignez du Québec, vous trouvez un désintérêt ou peut-être un...
Aussi, souvent, oui, moins de tension, puis des esprits plus ouverts, parce que plus tu es proche, plus tu as de tension, puis parfois plus c'est...
Parce que plus au corps du sujet.
Plus il y a d'angoisse aussi.
Mais est-ce qu'il n'y a pas aussi un désintérêt?
The Zellerbach Auditorium, right in the middle of the Berkeley campus, is to be the focal point of the Quebec Cultural Week. Harmonium, the opening attraction. At home, the group's hardcore following is in the colleges, and they have already decided that the best way to break into the American market is through the college circuit. A concert on the prestigious Berkeley campus is a perfect start. At a local record store, Harmonium puts in a personal appearance. This is one of the very few stores in the U.S. which stocks their albums. They haven't had to do this kind of grassroots salesmanship in Quebec for several years, but they know that here it's a necessary part in the process of getting established. Although they don't exactly draw huge crowds, by the end of the afternoon, all copies of their latest double album, Leptade, have been sold out.
Do you think it's important for a Quebec group to make it big outside of Quebec?
Well, of course, because first of all, the market here is too small. Nobody can live here, so you have to go out, you know. And everybody has had a lot of problems going out, had to invest a lot of money, and nothing never came out of that. Now, maybe with this group, you know, that has put together a very good organization, maybe we can reach out. I mean, it's, you know, it's a basic principle. We have to go out. We can't, or else we're going to die here, you know. And we have to also, we have to tell others that it's a very active community. There are a lot of things culturally that are happening, and we just can't keep it to ourselves. We have to tell others, and others have to be conscious of that, you know. We take enough of everybody else's culture. It's a time that there is an exchange, you know, between, you know, us, America, Europe, whatever. There's just the problem of the language. I don't think they could make it in French, because even if the kids don't hear the words usually in rock, they still, you have to talk in the same language. I mean, it's a very elementary principle of communication, you know. And so if they would do it in English, then I think there would be no problem. Just market them well, maybe play on the fact that they come from Quebec. And I mean, we've sold Lévesque to the Americans. Why couldn't we sell Harmonium?
But first response seems to show that, at least in Berkeley, language will not be a major problem. Here, there's a ready-made audience receptive to good music, whatever the source. Tickets are selling well, and a full-capacity crowd seems likely. Everything is set for a successful concert. Then comes the bad news. The truck with all of the group's instruments and equipment gets lost somewhere en route from Canada. It will not arrive on time. The concert has to be canceled.
We're taking Harmonium to Los Angeles next week.
They're good. It's too bad what happened.
They're excellent.
Erratic artists. I mean, their bloody instruments are somewhere in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, probably baritone. But we'll make up for it in Los Angeles. We'll showcase them at least 2 nights.
I think they deserve it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Ça arrive quand, vos maudits instruments?
C'est pour d'arriver au milieu de cette nuit, on comprend pas. C'est vraiment, on a mis ça.
Vous êtes à Belmont?
Ouais, mais
Peut-être qu'on pourra pas vous suivre là.
S'il arrive, tu sais.
À 2 heures. Ouais, mais ça, ce soir, on va voir ce que ça donne.
Nous autres, on entend rien que ça. Tu sais, je veux dire, il y avait tellement de motivation, puis tellement de...
Moi, je pense que vous devriez être bons aux États-Unis aussi. Vous êtes bons un peu partout au Canada. Parce que oui. Rattrapez-vous, il reste quelques jours.
Sur l'affaire, on essaie de trouver un moyen de peut-être mettre ça une semaine, finir la semaine.
Dans le
Il
cadre de la
parle de
semaine
Los Angeles
culturelle,
la
là,
semaine prochaine.
Oui.
C'est des choses
peut-être
par
qu'il y a
le
moyen
secteur.
d'arranger ça pour la semaine prochaine.
Il faut absolument faire quelque chose, ça n'a pas de bon sens.
Bon, lâchez pas. Où est-ce qu'ils sont les autres?
Ils sont dans la chambre d'hôtel, puis
Saluez-les de notre part.
Je suis venu ici il y a 2 jours pour faire un show d'harmonium à Berkeley. Je trouve que c'est essentiel que vous jouiez ici avant de partir. Ne serait-ce dans le bar de l'hôtel, dans un club rock, assis sur Télégraphe, au Zillerback Hall. Je pense qu'il faut qu'on joue ici. Je veux dire, je considère que avec les entrevues que vous avez faites, avec la promotion que vous avez faite, avec l'énergie que les gens du gouvernement ont mis, avec M. Lévesque qui s'est présenté ici, que quelles que soient les circonstances qu'on joue, c'est qu'avant qu'on parte qu'on joue ici.
Non, d'accord, mais c'est important le genre de salle qu'on fait aussi.
Oh,
Je veux dire, c'est ça. Non,
Mais,
c'est ça. C'est pas juste l'idée de jouer une place. T'sais. C'est pas juste ça non plus.
Non.
On peut s'en trouver dans n'importe quel club.
C'est l'idée de jouer, mais de jouer comme il faut, dans des conditions, puis une atmosphère qui se rapproche à l'idée originale.
Faut mettre de notre côté aussi.
As the disappointment of missing the first concert sinks in, it is difficult for the group to retain their enthusiasm for the trip. The Quebec government has paid them to come down here to represent Quebec, and their initial failure to do that far outweighs whatever personal commercial gains they still may make.
Je veux dire, il n'y a pas juste des gens comme des
It's
organisateurs.
Paulie Bear's job as manager to revitalize the group, convince them that one cancellation doesn't mean the whole trip is a disaster.
Ça, je veux dire, mis à part le côté politique, au niveau culturel, il y a du monde qui voulait savoir qu'est-ce qu'on était. T'sais. Puis je pense que, moi, je trouve important qu'on leur montre. On devrait continuer notre chemin. On a un truck qui marche, un nouveau chauffeur de truck. On va aller jouer au Starwood. Je suis sûr que ça va être un calice de bons choses.
Puis demain, on part pour Los Angeles.
Vous autres, demain, vous partez à Los Angeles, vous faites le Starwood, parce que pour vous autres, ça va être un réchauffement. 2 sets par soir, ça va vous mettre en forme. Vous allez arriver ici pour renverser Berkeley à l'envers.
Los Angeles, only 500 miles south of San Francisco. But this is a very different kind of California, land of Hollywood and hard sell. Harmonium will find no sophisticated college crowd to play for here at the Starwood. Instead, tonight's audience will be one used to the raw punk rock groups that the club usually bills. The missing truck has arrived with the group's $500,000 worth of equipment, necessary for the huge outdoor concerts back home, where Harmonium sometimes play before crowds of 300,000 or more. But the Starwood holds only 700. The stage is small, power supply limited, so much of the equipment has to be left in the truck. For their first concert in the US, the situation is not ideal. Maybe this performance in LA is a mistake, because if Harmonium fails here, the California trip and their initial thrust into the American market will turn sour. But at least the musicians have their instruments back. While the stage is being set up, they begin to play. For the first time after a week of tension, they can rehearse, and at least for a few hours, relax.
David, were you surprised by the whole thing, all the equipment, the people, and everything that landed on your doorstep last night?
This was a shock to me, yes. Normally the acts that play this type of a venue do not come in with semis full of equipment and sound equipment.
How do you feel your customers are going to cope with the different language?
Music is a universal language, and our audience will listen to the music. And if the music is there, the language really does not make a difference, especially, I think, in listening to the sound check a little bit of the music, especially with this kind of music. I think that the music can speak for itself. The basic trick to playing the club is to be good musicians.
Okay, a tune called Viens danser, which means come and dance. Not really, doesn't mean that, but that's the title.
Viens ton vieux, à soir on se regarde dans les yeux. À soir on prend un bon coup, toi et deux. On trouve nos vieilles nuits magiques. Parce qu'il n'y a plus de musique qui est pas faite en plastique, comme un ballon qui tourne toujours en rond. On attend la fin du show. Je sais pas ce qu'ils ont trouvé ce coup-là à faire sauter, mais comme il reste plus d'effets spéciaux, ils ont fait sauter le chanteur. Mais moi je l'ai manqué. Je regarde à un haut-parleur, il est tellement gros, tellement plus gros que son cœur malade. Il est ton vieux, viens danser, c'est trop loin de la vérité. La magie s'est en allée, vite on va la chercher. Le théâtre magique, il y a d'une ancienne relique. Mes rêves sont tombés du balcon dans une cathédrale en carton. C'est un vieux rituel avec un tout nouveau cœur artificiel. J'ai tellement mal aux ailes, il fait tellement frais, même avec nos 20 000 allumettes. Chacun est assis tout seul sur son île, bras ouverts, le cœur fragile. La musique s'en fout, elle avait un autre rendez-vous.
Very good. Ben, ça a fait, tu sais, c'est fun.
Tu es content?
Ah, bien content. I'm sure now that, you know, a lot of things can happen with these people. It's just, you know, it's a question of being yourself. Now, we didn't do any funny compromise or anything.
Yeah.
It's just... Je suis bien content.
Ah, c'est spécial. C'est spécial. On a arraché pour venir jusqu'ici, là. Puis, enfin, tu sais, il y a de la musique qui se passe, puis bien beau.
It was just totally great. It was fantastic. I enjoyed it tremendously.
I did not understand the wording, but it didn't matter.
It would be nice to hear a song in English, but otherwise it was really nice.
As far as, like, you know, the music industry is concerned, it's going to be a big problem. Everybody's going to say, you know, why don't they play in English? They'll never sell. Musically, I think, you know, much like a band like Genesis or Gong or like that, the people are going to listen. You know, once the music is established, the lyrics are secondary.
Should I feel nationalistic or something about this group? No, because I'm an English Canadian and these are French Canadians, and I feel that their nation isn't our nation. Or they feeling like strangers in our country, it's not theirs, so.
You don't feel like you're sharing a culture?
I'd like to, but I think that there's such a deep crevasse between the two cultures that we're total, like foreigners, I'm more American, or to them, I'm more American than French, so.
This is one of the few Canadian bands that I could come and see and admit to other people in the audience that I'm Canadian.
Yeah. Qui c'est qui a dit qu'on pouvait pas les avoir, les Américains, man?
Moi, je me disais, si le monde aime ça gros comme ça vaut gros de même. Okay? Parce que, premièrement, ça ne va pas, c'est en français. Deuxièmement, c'est un club punk. Puis on vient jouer soft, là, en français. C'est les tomates.
Oui, je sais.
C'est pas les tomates, là, c'est la médaille.
I'm dying to do the next one.
I was very scared. Like, I guess, you know, we were all just there and seeing the people in front, and we didn't expect really anything. But they were aggressive. You know. We don't feel to succeed anywhere. It's not. It's like it's just a question of if we can play in the U.S. the way we are, that's fine. Like there was a couple of experimental groups from Italy that changed all their thing. That put English lyrics to their words and puis ils sont devenus nowhere. Like and the problem is there for me is that everybody sounds like everybody else. So the thing that's important for me is Quebec's culture, and all that it involves. You know, all the like again the French culture, whatever it is, cinema, music. That's I live by that. I'm you know happy with that.
Si ça c'est politique, on est politique à ce moment-là. Parce qu'individuellement, on a des prises de position au niveau de ce qu'on est, d'où on vient, puis de ce qu'on veut rester finalement, oui, et où on veut aller. À ce moment-là, il y a des essences politiques au fond de nous autres. Mais il y a rien de politique à faire dans ça. Absolument pas, puis il n'y en aura jamais.
Just the fact of being there with American people and singing what we are, it just showed us what we are even more, and the differences.
very much.